Hi, my name is Chantelle, and for those of you who don't know me, a little bit about myself is I am a wife, I am a mom to two beautiful boys, and I love my life. Like when I say I love my life, I love everything about it, but it wasn't always that way because I used to be a hot mess. I was stuck in cycles of pain and seasons of brokenness, of anxiety, insecurity, eating disorders, self-hatred. I felt stuck in my body. I felt stuck in my seasons. I felt stuck in my relationships. But one of my primary coping mechanisms was boyfriends. I had boyfriends from the ages of 16 to 23 all the time. I don't think there was a month that went by where I didn't have a boyfriend. And the story would go a little something like this. I would like a guy, or a guy would like me. We would start dating. We would date for a while. And then a couple of months later, I would start to feel restless and insecure and anxious and trapped in my relationship. And so I would break up and I would start the cycle all over again. Like a guy, date a guy, start to feel stuck, break up, and I would do this again and again and again and again. It actually took me years to realize that the boyfriends weren't the problem, but I would break up with them because I thought they didn't like me enough, they didn't love Jesus enough, they weren't attentive enough. But years and years later, I realized that they weren't the problem, and it was actually me that was the problem. I was stuck in these cycles of self-hatred and insecurity, and I used this false sense of identity and connection and attachment with these boyfriends to make myself feel okay. The thing about being stuck in our cycles and our pain is being stuck is actually a survival mechanism. Now, go with me on this one because I know it sounds weird, but our subconscious, when we're stuck in a cycle of whether it's anxiety, insecurity, dating the same kind of guy over and over again, our brain actually takes energy to make change. When we want to make change in our life, it takes intentionality, it takes work, it takes focus, which makes our brain work extra hard. And our bodies don't like that because subconsciously we want to keep that same state of homeostasis, that equilibrium, predictability in our life. And so being stuck is our body, our mind, our emotions way of keeping the same kind of like predictability and homeostasis in our life. So with these boyfriends that I kept having and the cycles that I kept going through with them, it was like putting a Band-Aid on top of real pain and insecurity and feelings of not being enough and not being worthy of love. Having a boyfriend was like slapping a Band-Aid on top of a wound. But eventually, like a Band-Aid does, when you wear it too long, it gets worn out, it gets tired, it gets weak. And so when I was with a boyfriend for too long, the Band-Aid would get old, I would rip him off and slap a new Band-Aid, a new boyfriend on top of this pain. And that's the reason why I was repeating this cycle, was because I wasn't actually uncovering what was underneath that Band-Aid. And instead I was putting on this false sense of comfort, this false sense of healing over top of it, which was keeping me stuck in the same cycle over and over and over again. Now, I'm saying boyfriends as a Band-Aid, but these Band-Aids could be anything. It could be alcohol, it could be food, it could be sex, it could be social media, it could be a relationship that you have, it could even be a title that you wear, like I'm a mom, and you're wearing it as though you're covering up pain underneath. It could just be work. You work too much and you're trying to cover up. There's stuff that's going on underneath the surface in your life, but you don't know how to get out of these cycles. And so you just slap a Band-Aid on it. You come home from a long day of work, you pour a big glass of wine and you drink it and you feel good. And you do the same thing every single day. And you get a temporary relief from the Band-Aid, but it's only a matter of time before that doesn't do it for you anymore. And you have to put another Band-Aid on top of the same wound. But I just want to tell you that there is hope. Boyfriends was only one of the areas in my life that I felt stuck. There were so many other things that I was just slapping Band-Aids on top of without actually uncovering what was going on underneath the surface. The first key to transformation is to uncover what has you stuck. It's like that old saying goes, you can't heal what you don't reveal. So until you start to uncover those areas in your life that have you feeling stuck, you're gonna keep going around in these same cycles and not being able to get out of them until you actually identify what's going on underneath the surface. So I wanna help you identify what being stuck is. I created an acronym of what it feels like to be stuck, and it's you feel stagnant in your life. You feel trapped in your season, you feel trapped in your job, in a relationship, in your body. You feel uninspired, unfulfilled, unmotivated to do the things in your life that you need to do. And it has you in cycles of repeating the same kinds of behaviors, thinking the same kinds of thoughts, doing the same kinds of things over and over again. And you know better, but you can't do better. You know what you're doing isn't okay. You know what you're doing isn't healthy for you. But no matter what you try and do, nothing ever gets better. We can't get unstuck until we identify that we're actually stuck. So if this video was helpful to you in any way in your season, share it with a friend. I think it's so important for us to be able to identify the areas in our life where we feel stuck so that we don't stay there.